Hi, this is Brad with Copper Creek Cuts, a lawn care company in Northeast Florida. Today, we're taking down this holly bush. Tree, shrub, bush, whatever you want to call it. We're just going to cut it flush with the ground. The client's going to have the stumps taken care of later. Game plan is just to throw everything forward of the Ventrac, so when we go to dump it, we can just push it out with the Ventrac. So that kind of opened everything up without me having to actually get near those holly leaves because they're pretty prickly. So we'll load that stuff up, and then I think with the chainsaw I can get the rest of it, but we'll see. I often get a lot of comments on videos like this from people who are upset that I did this. They think that I'm the reason this tree got cut down. If you're expecting me to talk people out of cutting bushes or trees, that's kind of like a car dealer who, you say, I want to buy a new car, and he says, no, think about the carbon footprint of the car you already have. Just keep riding that. Or, you want your bathroom remodeled or something, and the plumber says, no, it looks fine the way it is. Think of all this tile's going to have to go in the landfill. That's irresponsible. No, I'm not going to tell somebody no when they want to give me money to cut something down. Now, on the other hand, I do think it's a shame when something that's pretty and mature like this has to get taken down. But again, I'm not going to tell the client no. I'm not going to try and talk them out of it. There's also people who suggest that I should have found a new home for this plant. I can tell for a fact those are people who have never dug up a tree before, because the amount of work it would have taken to replant this, it would have been a ridiculous amount of time and work. And as it was, my brother actually texted me because I got this job from a Facebook group post that he's in the group too. And so he said, hey, let me know about that holly tree. I'm looking for stuff that, does well in the wintertime. And thankfully, he had to work today, so he wasn't able to tag along with me. Trying to dig this up and transplant it would have been a complete nightmare. Not only because of how big and heavy the tree is and how big and heavy the root ball would be, but it's got a mature pecan tree next to it, so who knows how those roots have intertwined. But the other thing is that then I'd have to bring in a ton of dirt and compact it in the spot where that tree used to be. If the client's not wanting that to begin with, and all they say is, I want it cut flush to the ground, now I've got to do all kind of gymnastics to talk them into, oh, well, why don't you let me dig it out and I'll bring in more, and now who's going to pay for the dirt? The client's not going to want to do that. So all this to say, to the people who are saying I shouldn't have done it or I should have found a new home for it, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but that's just not how this works. Out of battery. Well, technically it wasn't out of battery. It had one bar left, but these batteries, when they get to the very end, they try and do some power save mode, like a limp or something, and you just don't get a lot of power out of them. And now that I say that, it might just be this thing's pinching on it. I don't know. Chain's pretty loose too. All right, there's that. I've always been pretty happy with the performance of that TORO thing. You know, I'm not a tree guy by any means, but it's worked fine for all the stuff I've needed it to. The customer wanted this just flush cut, so that'll be good. We'll rake all this out, and this, and I think another stump they're going to take care of later. So I think that's probably one of my favorite parts of this Ventrac is not having to do stuff by hand as much anymore. Unloading if I don't have a full trailer full. I found that just parking the Ventrac at the very front, loading everything in the back, and then just pushing it out, it's kind of like a poor man's dump trailer, I guess. Of course, if you got a Ventrac, I don't guess there's anything poor about it. So we'll come back later. This will dry for a few days, and then we'll come mulch all this up with the tough cut. And that's the end of this project. Here's the before and afters. If you've got any questions, please let me know. But as always, thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it.